Hello, quarantine world. If you are like me and trying to find a mask and cannot find any elastic or other materials that are being used as a popular mask making material, I have a solution for you. So I have a mask that I have purchased for some of my woodworking, and I decided I'd make a pattern from it. So this mask, this is where your nose will go and your face, your mouth, and it will wrap around your cheek and then fasten behind the back of your head. It goes under your ears and on the nape of your neck, so it's fairly comfortable to wear, and only uses some velcro or a button or a snap to fasten, which is very good. So these are the patterns. This is the face mask portion, and you need to cut 4 of these pieces. This is the face mask fabric pouch, and you need 2 pieces. And then if you do want to have a liner, this is a pattern for the liner. Now this grid is a 1-inch square, so you can go and draw out a 1-inch grid and make your own pattern. Now this is an interesting point. I have an extension that's about 1 inch wide, and this is for people who have bigger heads. The pattern will automatically fit them. If you have a smaller head, you can go ahead and shorten this piece by at least 1 inch, if not a little bit more. You'll just have to try it on and see how it fits you. Now, I've already sewn most of my pieces, so I don't have any pins, and I'm not going to be sewing for you, so we can move through this a little faster. So when you get done cutting out your fabric, you're going to sew it right sides together along the mouth area, this curved seam at the very front. You're going to sew this, and then you're going to flip it inside out and iron it, and so it'll look like this in the next step. This is your liner pouch, and you're going to also sew along the curved seam and flip it inside out. Now, when I ironed my fabric flat like this, and then I poked my the tip of my iron in to flatten the seam over to one side, and I did that the same on all 3 pieces. So when you put them together, the seams are not overlapping and making a really thick seam. So on the liner, I turned my edge at the very top over once and then twice, and then ironed it down, and then my edges on both sides, I only did it 1 time. So now we're going to go to our sewing machine now that we have our edges all ironed down, and we're going to first sew this edge right here down and to make that hem. And then we are going to take our material and make sure you always know what the top is and versus the bottom, and those are labeled on the pattern pieces. And we're going to put the liner pouch over the inside fabric, just like this. Make sure your seams are all lined up nice and neatly. It's pretty simple because the curves are matched, just like that. And then we're going to take and sew this hem, or this seam, and we're going to sew this seam so we have a nice little pouch. And you can see that in this. So you have it all nice. The hem is sewn up here, and I have my pouch pieces here. So this is going to be what is actually facing our skin. That's actually touching our skin. And then we're going to take our second face piece and drape it over just like we did that pouch, and make sure our seams are lined up again, nice and even. And we are going to start pinning. So we need to have a pin every couple inches. Now, since we are going to turn this inside out when we are done sewing along the edge, make sure you leave about 3 or 4 fingers to be able to turn it inside out. And I do it on the bottom where this pocket is. There's the seam of the pocket right there. And so I do about 4 fingers right here. So I sew off my pocket and then I back up to lock my stitch in. So that's going to be my pocket. And you can see that in this piece, which I've sewn partially. You see my little pocket right there, so we can turn it inside out. So just in case you're a little confused at this point, this is what your inside is going to be looking like. This is your pouch liner. This is the material that's against your skin, and then this is the side that's going to be facing the world. Now, it is important to note if you're using a fabric that has a design, maybe your favorite superhero or something like that, you need to make sure the pattern is lined up so that this piece is showing what you want to be showing and doesn't have your character upside down or something like that. So at this point, we're sewing all the way around. And then we'll have a piece like this that has these seams sewn with our opening. My seam allowance, I did about a 1/4 inch on these seams. And I did about 3/16 to an 1/8 inch. It's a fairly small seam allowance on my curved edges, just to make that curve a little more easy to deal with. So we are going to go in to our opening, and you reach in and just grab some material and start pulling it out. It's actually not that hard to get all this material turned inside out. So ironing is a big part of this. Once you've done all the inside out turning, you have to go and fiddle with your seams and make them nice and flat because it looks like a little wad of fabric at the moment. So there we have our finished mask. What we're going to do to close this opening is when we are ironing our seams down, we're just going to turn that what our seam allowance is in and iron it flat, and then we can take these 2 pieces and just do a top stitch from here to here, and that's under our jawline, so people aren't going to see that much, so it's not going to be that big of a deal to have a top stitch. So this is the first mask I did, so it does look a little rough. My other masks are licensed material, so I can't show them online. Now to fasten, we are going to go and measure. We're going to wrap it around our head. Again, our nose goes here, the chin goes here. This goes under our jaw. And we're going to measure. So it'll end up being something like that. And then we're going to put our Velcro on either side. So we'll have Velcro. Now we can also use a button or a snap, something like that to make it easy to come on and off. One thing I did learn, this Velcro is a sticky Velcro, so it sticks on, and I had a piece that didn't quite stick to my fabric. And so I just lightly ran the iron over it a couple times until the glue got really nice and sticky, and I haven't had a problem with that since. Now, you might be wondering why there's a pocket. Well, I had seen an article that I will try to link in the description that said blue shop towels are a good filter I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll go with that for now. So we made a pocket so that you can put some paper towels or coffee filter or maybe something other thing that you've seen that you feel like it might work. Otherwise, it's just a nice third piece of cotton material to protect your breath from getting out of your little mask. I hope this helps some of you, and I hope you guys have a good day and you stay safe from this current crazy world we are in. Thank you so much for watching.